Day 14 Saturday, December 14, 2024. Today's Bible passage, Luke 5 verses 29 to 39. Then Levi gave him a great feast in his own house. And there were a great number of tax collectors and others who sat down with them. And their scribes and the Pharisees complained against his disciples, saying, "Why do you eat and drink with tax collectors and sinners?" Jesus answered and said to them, "Those who are well have no need of a physician, but those who are sick. I have not come to call the righteous, but sinners, to repentance." Then they said to him, "Why do the disciples of John fast often and make prayers, and likewise those of the Pharisees, but yours eat and drink?" And he said to them, "Can you make the friends of the bridegroom fast while the bridegroom is with them? But the days will come when the bridegroom will be taken away from them, then they will fast in those days." Then he spoke a parable to them, "No one puts a piece from a new garment on an old one, otherwise the new makes a tear, and also, the piece that was taken out of the new does not match the old. And no one puts new wine into old wineskins, or else the new wine will burst the wineskins and be spilled, and the wineskins will be ruined. But new wine must be put into new wineskins, and both are preserved. And no one, having drunk old wine, immediately desires new, for he says, 'The old is better.'" Reflection on today's Bible passage. Reflection on Luke 5 verses 29 to 39. In this passage, we see Jesus at a banquet hosted by Levi, a tax collector who had just answered his call to follow him. The scene contrasts sharply with the grumblings of the Pharisees and scribes, who are scandalized by Jesus dining with sinners. This moment highlights the heart of Jesus' ministry. He came not to affirm the self-righteous, but to call sinners to repentance and transformation. Levi's banquet can be seen as an act of celebration and gratitude for his newfound relationship with Jesus. It reminds us that encountering Christ should overflow into our daily lives, drawing others into that joy and hope. Like Levi, we are invited to share Christ's love with those on the margins, regardless of societal judgment. The parables of the new garment and new wineskins further emphasize the radical newness of Christ's message. His teaching does not simply patch up old ways, but requires a complete renewal of heart and mind. This renewal challenges us to let go of rigid traditions or attitudes that may hinder the work of God in our lives. The new wine of the gospel requires the flexibility and openness of new wineskins, a readiness to embrace the transformative power of grace. As we reflect, we are invited to examine whether we, like the Pharisees, are resistant to change or whether we, like Levi, are willing to respond to Jesus with joy and openness. Do we make room for the newness of Christ in our hearts, or do we cling to old patterns that limit his work in our lives? This passage ultimately calls us to rejoice in the inclusive, transformative love of Jesus, and to cultivate a spirit ready to receive and share the newness of life that only he can bring. Here are some practical takeaways from Luke 5 verses 29 to 39. 1. Celebrate and share Jesus in your life. Like Levi, express gratitude for your relationship with Jesus by sharing it with others. Host gatherings or conversations that introduce people to Christ's love and grace. 2. Extend grace to others. Jesus chose to eat with sinners and outcasts, showing us the importance of extending love to those who might be overlooked or judged. Take time to reach out to someone in need of encouragement, acceptance, or kindness. 3. Be open to renewal. Let go of old habits, attitudes, or traditions that might hinder your spiritual growth. Ask yourself, what is something new that God might be asking me to embrace in my life? 4. Adopt a spirit of humility. The Pharisees resisted change, clinging to their self-righteousness. Examine your own heart for areas of pride or resistance to God's work, and pray for a spirit of humility and flexibility. 5. Make room for the new wine. Embrace the transformative power of the gospel in all areas of your life, your relationships, habits, and priorities. Ask God to give you the new wineskin of a heart that is ready to receive his blessings and guidance. 6. View repentance as a celebration. Rather than seeing repentance as a burden, recognize it as a joyful return to God. Take time this week to confess, realign your heart with God's will, and celebrate the grace he freely offers. 7. Create space for the marginalized. Like Jesus, be intentional in creating space for those who feel excluded or judged. This could mean reaching out to a coworker, neighbor, or someone in your community who may need support or friendship. By living out these lessons, we embody the heart of Jesus' ministry and allow His love to flow through us to others. Thank you for joining us today. May God bless and be with us all as we meditate on the daily Bible readings, and may this Christmas season be a time of joy, peace, and reflection on the true meaning of Christmas. Please subscribe to grow our channel at Blessed Sanctuary.